Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a hip bump to Kimura. Now this is old school catch wrestling, so it's a double wrist lock in what I know, but it's a shoulder lock finish, and I'm going to show you within this one of the reasons why you shouldn't do double wrist lock in the style that a lot of people are doing it at the moment. But anyway, I digress. So I'm going to go back. I've got my guard. Close my guard. So if you've seen my last couple of videos, I'm hip bumping, and I'm not doing it in the style that a lot of other people are doing it. I'm not stopping this leg, and I'm not kind of bug sweeping. I'm actually going and driving my hips into his chest and going up and over. So big C shape, and I go up to get him onto the palm of my hand, and I go up, boom, like that. He bases out. Okay, so when he bases out, I've got a choice here. Now I can either try and keep driving him over that base, which with the angle of Graham at the moment I'd probably get away with. So let's pretend that he's stopped me slightly and his base is about here. Okay, so all I'm literally going to do at this point now is I'm going to fall off to this side. So I'm going to let my bum slot down the middle, and I'm going to see how I keep my forearm and my shoulder locked around his shoulder. I've got to do this. Okay, this can't be me reaching down here. As soon as I do that, I've let his shoulder go, and I can't let go of his shoulder. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to fall in that direction and close. Now you see that I've actually trapped his shoulder against my body, and my leg is in the way. If he tries to get that hand into the center, he can't anymore. Okay, if he tries to grab his shorts, he can't anymore. Because I am controlling his shoulder. Alright? He can't get his hand to the center. He might be able to grab his short legs and stuff. He might be able to. Now, from here, I never make this 90-degree angle. Alright? Because what Graham will have done at this point is he will have pushed my hips down on the opposite side with his other hand and driven his hips out through that gap. Okay? So, in doing the modern kind of Kimura, where I sit in here and I take this angle, I'm literally giving him permission with the other hand to push that knee down and just drive his hips straight through. Okay? I'm probably going to end up in a really bad position. I'll show you how to do it in a second. So, what I make sure is that I've locked the shoulder up when I put it here, that I close my guard and I squeeze my knees. Now when he tries to drive my knees down, there is no driving my knees down. Okay? From here, I'm going to twist his wrist to his armpit and I pull. And the tap is really quick because I'm locking his shoulder in place. If I go for a Kimura, it takes a long time. But if I lock this shoulder in place and I turn this wrist underneath his armpit and then I apply it, that's the tap. Okay? So people genuinely believe to finish a Kimura, I've got to make this angle because I've got to get this twist going on. Right? So I've got to somehow get this to go over the back of his head. When in reality I can do it from here just by making sure that shoulder's trapped against my body and bringing that wrist underneath my armpit, underneath his armpit. Okay? Here and pull. That's the tap. Okay? So you've no need to do it and it allows you to escape. So we'll do the Kimura again. And this annoys me about the Kimura trap. Alright? It's not a Kimura trap. Yeah? It's what people have done for years. So stop calling it something, the new Kimura trap. Not new. Okay? It's been around for years. I've used it for years. Okay? So I'm going to pop up. Woof, hand goes down. I go up. He kind of bases out here, drives in with his chest a little bit, stops me. I'm going to capture that shoulder. It's the shoulder that I want. I want to lock that shoulder in against me underneath my armpit. I'm then going to kind of fall off in that direction as I take that in. Okay? People say, how do you get your hands together? And I say, well, you take your hand to the wrist. You don't take this hand to the wrist. You take this to this hand. Okay? Lock the shoulder in place. I'm going to twist his wrist towards his armpit and I'm going to pull. And there's the tap. It's that easy. Right? I'm shortening that rotator cuff. As soon as I do that, look how awkward his arm is. If I leave it open, his arm isn't awkward. It works. turn his wrist in, his arm doesn't work very well. Alright, so really turn that, pull it in. As an added bonus to this video, which is my least knackered arm, this one goes. When someone sits up for the, like, one of the things I like to do is I'll give them the Christmas present of the Kimura. So if he sits down, I'll literally go here, okay? Because what he's going to do is he's going to grab the wrist, and what he's been taught is he sits up on his elbow, so you sit up, taking your weight, and he reaches over my arm, and he takes that Kimura. That's what he's been taught. So he sits back down again. I know he's been taught that. So I give him a Christmas present. If he's really good, I put the hand on his hip like that. Alright? Because then he doesn't fall for this embarrassing thing. I put the hand here. As he goes and grabs the wrist and reaches up and over, I put my hand on the inside of the hip and I just do this. Look where I am. Hello, I've got your back. Okay, and I'm chest down, so I'm going to force him onto his front. Literally all I did was block his hip and just drag myself out of it. It doesn't matter if he actually gets a Kimura. Okay? So even if he gets the Kimura and he starts to try and apply it, I'm just blocking his hip. I'll turn around this side. He sits up. At this point, he has to have his guard open. He can't have his guard closed. I put my hand on this hip, push down, let him apply it. And now, there is no Kimura. Okay? So, make sure when you're applying the Kimura, you're not taking this 90-degree thing and stuff. Don't use a Kimura, use a double wrist lock. Twist this wrist, put it underneath the armpit. And if it's being applied to you, just stuff yourself out. If you can get your body at 45 degrees, he can't finish the Kimura because he can't C-shape it through the floor. Okay, so yeah, it's a bit of an annoyance of mine. But anyway, if you think that's a load of crap, that's fine, but it seems to work for me.